Hello and welcome to another edition of Toys from the Attic. For today's episode, I have a box of rocks. Or rather, rock lords. Now I figured I'm going to open this thing up, pull one out, and see who we're going to review today. I'm going to choose granite. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at this guy. Here we have Granite from Rocklords, a spin-off of Tonka's transforming robot line, GoBots. Rocklords never had their own animated series to help promote the toy line. As a matter of fact, the only animated feature that they had was Rocklords' Challenge of the GoBots. Many of you have probably already seen a review of it, and it's not really a movie as opposed to a bunch of episodes that were put together and tried to release in theaters. I'm not going to be going over that for a review today, but suffice it to say, it didn't do well enough for them to get their own animated series. It probably didn't help that it came out towards the downcline of the GoBots line, who are being outshadowed by the more popular Transformers toys from Kenner. Alright, so let me try transforming this guy. Now some of you out there, I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit. There we go. Now some of you out there might not think that transforming rocks are all that great, but I actually really loved these guys back when I was a kid. Actually, I had originally two versions of Granite. Well, they didn't have multiple versions, I just had two of them. But one of them was stolen from me back in kindergarten. Not really happy about that. Anyways, back onto his transformation. You just pull his legs out right here. Pretty simple. Flip his legs around here. He's kind of really a flat rock. Got some nice blue that coincides with the gray. And I will say that this right here is obviously metal. You can get some nice... They still had some nice die casting back in those days for certain things. Other than that, the rest of the guy is plastic. Just fold his arms out here and down, and then just push his head up. Really not much to him. I mean, he's a very stocky and thick character. I'm pretty sure he was supposed to be the muscle of the group and more of the tough guy, the strong guy, especially considering his Japanese name was Guts Rock. I kind of like that, actually. Yeah, and by far, he was my favorite. I like the stern look on his face, and how you have the nice cracking in here. From a guy who's trying to make rocks for 3D rendering and other stuff, it's what I do on the side. I'm always amazed on how people are able to sculpt rocks and get it really detailed. It's one of those things that if you don't do it just right, it either comes off as underwhelming or just like a big mess. Now here is the gun that Granite actually came with, and you can kind of see that it has this nice little bit of rocky texture that melds in with certain bits of technology. Yeah, they're standard all one color, just like most weapons these days. And here's a little plastic peg that used to fit right in this hole right here, and it would just sit here and his gun can rest right here. Sadly though, yeah, pegs like this, especially considering this is a very brittle piece of plastic, that just fit in one little hole right there, those are going to break. I mean, I had two of these guys, and every single time that broke on me, so he can no longer really hold his weapon. I'm actually surprised. It's one of the few weapons I have that actually go back with these lines. I have I have a good chunk of these guys, but their weapons long gone. Anyways, yeah, I'll just put that over here. It doesn't fold up too much. It doesn't stay up as well. As you can tell, I've played with these guys quite a bit. Another thing I really would have liked it to do, but back then they never really did it, is have a place where you could store his weapon or make the weapon part of his rock transformation, or something that folds up in some, well, I shouldn't say fold up some places, but something that where it pops and folds out. They're doing that a lot more with more of the transforming robot lines. It just makes it easier to keep track of the weapons when you know it slides in this slot and it's always going to be there. Sadly, well, the Transformers or Kenner eventually bought the GoBots line from Tonka, and I'm assuming they bought the Rocklords line with that. It would be really nice if they were to re-release these guys, but considering that there might be some copyrights with Bandai, who also own certain molds to the GoBots, and Tonka, I don't know, whatever, and whoever owned the rights to the show, they might not be seeing another release of these guys. However, I think it would still be kind of cool, especially in the in the Transformers Prime series line that's on TV now. Now, I know what a lot of you are saying, like, what's the purpose of transforming rocks in the Prime series, or how would that work? The robots from Cybertron come by and take forms of rocks? No. My actual thinking is, considering that the planet formed around Unicron, and in Darkness Rising, I think that's the right episode, I'm a little confused right now, Unicron actually came out of rock, formed a body out of rocks. It'd be, you couldn't put it that far that maybe somewhere in the Earth there is that there's some spawns of Unicron who are able to transform into rocks and take on the minerals in that from the surrounding environments, or the granite or other stuff, and be able to create sentient bodies or life forms, and they've become their own new species. I actually think that would be a cool idea just to add into the show, and then, well, you can maybe spin off with some other stuff. I don't think these guys were ever that popular to have a resurgence of them, but still, I think they're really cool. You can find these guys on eBay. They're not that expensive, usually ranging from $5 to $7 for most of the main ones. It's usually the jeweled characters, which were more of the rocklords that were based off of crystals, and then the fossil figures, which actually form a big giant creature. Those are the ones that are going to be really expensive, ranging from like $60 to $300. But anyways, this has been a look at Granite, one of my favorite characters. We'll be probably taking a look at some of the other characters later on down the line, but who knows? Once again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you've seen today, please feel free to subscribe, like, or leave a comment below in the comment section. Any advice for the show would be greatly appreciated. Who knows, something you suggest may appear on the show in the future.